Hello, guys. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our June 2nd episode of our daily stock market insights. And in our videos, we always talk about how your favorite stocks performed in the Philippine stock market. And here we review all your requests. So I am highly encouraging you guys to feel free to drop a comment if your stock picks are not part of our list today. Okay, so these are the trending stocks that we currently have in Instagrams, and some of those have been requested by some of our viewers. And so, if this is your first time to watch our video, you're welcome to subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you're always updated, and of course, don't forget to like. Okay, let's talk about the index to start our discussion. Okay, for our index, we have seen um, promising recovery for the past 3 days. We have been on a steady climb over here. Okay, and we are triggering the upper Bollinger Band. Oh, we're close to the overbought level, but still there is a big opportunity for it to climb higher. So I'm thinking, and I'm bullish because we are way, lower. At a very cheap level. In fact, this one over here, there was a breakout of this short-term resistance, and the nearest one I mentioned yesterday for our index. This is the area where we are going to challenge first. Okay, that area because of this. Okay, so that is the nearest resistance that we have for the index, and of course, it will create a parallel impact in our major stocks, meaning our blue chip companies such as Jollibee, BDO, what else? JGS, URC, SMC. So not 100% that it will follow the same direction, but majority. Even secondary stocks will most likely have the same fate. So let's jump right ahead and talk about these stocks. We start with MWIDE. Okay, so MWIDE yesterday we also mentioned that we were bullish with MWIDE, and right away in today's performance it was supported by a green candlestick. That was a solid 9.85% increase in the price, and half of the candlestick's body as of today is already starting to trigger or cross the MA20 line. Therefore, let's first challenge this. So baby steps, one at a time. This one over here used to be your support, right? And therefore, when we are going to move higher, your previous support could act as a resistance. And let's see if that resistance will be broken, because right now the volume that we have for our performance today is significantly higher. So I feel good about this. There's a big possibility that it will continue to move higher. Overall, if you are to zoom out, very promising setup for MWIDE. And with us being on we're already on GCQ, and definitely we're close to being operational. I don't know if it's already 100% for everybody, but at least uh, businesses are starting to open, so that will create a positive impact in the overall performance of the market. So that's one thing to watch out for. Okay, bullish, we're still bullish for MY. SECB. SECB, finally we crossed the MA20 line, so let us use your MA20 now as your support area. Okay, so this used to be your what? Created a resistance at that area, and so we are starting to move higher. Look at this. There was a gap up, gap down that happened there. So definitely, I see that this will be filled, but probably by tomorrow. Half of that space has already been filled actually. So I feel that we will continue to move higher just in case it, people will take profit. 92.08 is your support, but if you're solid believer of you're a solid believer of SECB, wherever it is at right now, 96.6 is already a cheap level. What is 4 peso difference from the current price level? So it's not a big difference, because we really cannot tell. Maybe people will be too bullish that the price will just do a gap up, and it won't go back anymore. So your call. If you're a long-term investor, wherever it is at right now, it's already a good area to start accumulating volume. Dito. Okay, Dito also had a good jump today. All right, see that? Triggering the upper Bollinger Band with a 4.31% increase in the price. This for me is already a breakout. This is a good breakout play, hopefully with tomorrow. That is now, I'm plotting a new support at that level because we managed to exceed that level whereby the entire body is already beyond that line, which is, beyond the 2.34. So this is already a candidate of a breakout play. Let's have 2.34 as our new support. Overall, if you like to be ahead of the game in this third telco, this is a much better position than 10 months ago, 1 year ago, where at one point it even reached the 8 peso level. Okay, so let's continue. MAC over here. As for MAC, same, very good positions here. So what I have noticed so far from the stocks that I have reviewed, these are good choices for position traders. It's triggering the upper Bollinger Band now from a very constricted Bollinger Band. We are foreseeing some more bull run or bullish movements in the coming days. Going northbound, meaning going up. Okay, see that? Very, very promising over here. So these are just technical insights, guys. Okay, so you also have to pay close attention to the financial health condition of the company and where are they heading now that we are on GCQ. I know macro Asia is also a transportation business, so maybe it's worth investing time in analyzing the news and PSE Edge, so you have more context on what is currently happening in their business. And JF, no. Tech first. Oh, Tech had I thought it won't climb today, but I was surprised to see that when the market ended today, I think the jump really happened before the closing. Let's see. There you have it. Oh, it was moving higher. So the significant climb happened around 12 in the afternoon. And then the last hour, the last hour really had a massive climb here. So this is what I was referring to. Regardless of the time frame, as soon as you see a significant change in the volume, something good is about to happen. From a no volume here, and then all of a sudden there's a big jump. Actually, this one over here you should already be your trigger. And then supported by this, it even gave you a chance to go back at that area, and then it moved higher. Okay, this one too over here, something to really take note of. With price action, big decline, but for some reason, as it reached somehow the bottom over here, which is your oversold area, all of a sudden there's an increase in the volume. So people now are starting to show interest and starting to put in some funds there, and then see what happens next. Shoot higher, and we're in a 5-minute time frame. Okay, so how does it look like now on your daily chart? Okay, so for our daily chart, from a dip here, so it respected the support that we have created. Even yesterday, if you are to go back to our video yesterday, I also talked about this, and that this used to be a resistance here, and I said it's currently accumulating establishing that support for the past 5 days. And today there was a good volume plus the increase in price. So I'm thinking 7.12 to 7.98 would be a good entry price. In fact, 7.98 is already an okay price, but we are just more on a conservative approach to our trades because we're not out of the woods yet. So people might take profit because considering you have your MA20 line over here and we have not crossed that path yet. So they might take profit. But definitely I feel good with the 7.25 area as our support. And I feel that the overall sentiment might support 7.25 as an area of bounce. Okay, that's our outlook there. What about JFC? JFC also managed to, well, this is actually a gap up, right? But the wick down below here, it's just, it filled that gap technically. Okay, so overall, we see that it will potentially, it will give us some bullish actions in the coming days. This area over here is our support, but a lot of our investors are really disregarding this difference, a what 123 minus 108, that's around 15 peso difference, to compare it with the possible return in investment. How far are we? Okay, so that is your risk. Your risk to reward ratio is very promising. This is your risk because it can reach this area where you had your bottom over here, and yeah, so that's your risk, but your reward is up to here. Big promising risk to reward ratio. Okay, and overall I bet a lot of you guys who are invested in JFC are long-term investors, so I think this is music to your ears at this point because for us, I feel positive about the overall sentiment of JFC now. Even though there was a decline in volume, I think that's just fine. Okay, look at that. There was a decline in the revenue, right? But the dividend is still there. See that? There is still revenue, but probably did not meet their target revenue, but still there was revenue, and they're sharing it to their shareholders. MPI I think is another good story today. There you have it. This used to be your resistance, which was your support prior. Over here, and this is too thick. Let me just adjust that. Okay, so let me go. All right, so this is the area where it is at right now. Is, I feel, a resistance at the moment. Okay, that is sitting at a resistance, and if you are to look back and screen from where it is at right now, you screen to the left. Do you see any nearby consolidation? Yes, we do, which is right here. It surpassed this area, which used to be your support here, which is aligned to your previous resistance. Okay, see that? This used to be your resistance, which was a support previously, and it surpassed that level. Now it is trying to challenge this area, which used to be your support and could act as a resistance. Same concept here. Previous support became a resistance here. Previous support can become a resistance here. But normally we don't take action yet. Unless we see a red candlestick being formed within the area, then that's the time we say, okay, that's a sign of weakness and chances are it will dip. Like what happened here. Over here, it climbed, but there was a red candlestick coming out right here. Some people, as soon as they see this first red candlestick, they would exit, but it pushed a little higher, and but then again, it struggled for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no changes, almost in the same area for 5 days. Then there was a breakdown. Same concept that we're going to apply here. As soon as you don't see any red candlestick being formed yet, don't take action, because it can, like what happened here, it can break a resistance. And that's what we call a breakout play. Overall, look at how far are you from, from the possible peak. We're not saying it will, reach the 5 peso level right away, but you have your resistances here around 3 something, but that's already a good entry price. As for me, I'd like us to, just in case, so building on what I have just said, if a red candlestick comes out, the next possible retracement area is your previous resistance. So resistance right now, this is the resistance, this is your support. If you see a red candlestick coming out, then you wait for it at the support. But if you have green candlestick starting from 3.17 and it goes higher, then I'd say we can have a breakout play for this stock. Okay, 2 possibilities. Very dependent on whatever comes out tomorrow. Cebu Pacific, another good story here. All right, so feel good. It's starting to show recovery here. Every day is a gap up. Look at that. From here, and then there's a gap up, and then a gap up, a gap up, and a gap up for 5 days straight. Okay, so where are you now? What's your plan here? Are you a long-term investor? If yes, this is still a very healthy level. Okay, but be prepared. Okay, be prepared as recovery in their losses would take some time, but definitely as soon as they're back in business, if there are no hiccups in our strategy with the GCQ, then we will see Cebu Pacific go back to its regular price level, which is close to the 80s or 90s area. Okay, this used to be their trend here. This is the area where they stabilized before it actually broke. But overall, for the conservative players, just in case it retraces, because we know that stocks do retrace and it rests. So just in case the market gives you a chance right here, then that's your support. But right now, I feel that your new support has already changed. Your new support will now be at the MA20 area. There's a big chance, okay? 41.32, that is the new support that I see. Because that's where your MA20 line, okay? Alright, let's continue. Sun, nice one. This is another candidate. From no volume to a significant increase in the volume. Mind you guys, there's a big play, possible big play in this stock. What is this news? There's news here. Sun City Cement's controlling stake in SunTrust. Okay, so that's another thing to read. Let me just see. Integrated Gaming Resort co-developer SunTrust Home Developers Incorporated is raising $7.3 billion from the issuance of zero-coupon convertible bonds to its controlling stockholder, thereby jacking up the stake held by Hong Kong-based Sun City Group to 74.42%. SunTrust disclosed the Philippine Stock Exchange on Monday that it had entered into a deal. Nice, so this is a promising report. Okay, so just be extra careful because sometimes it will, there's a spike in the price because it's news driven. Just because there's news, then it spiked up. But prior to that, try to also understand how the volume here. But I think overall this is something to look forward to, because the business deal they have is not just an overnight game. That is something in preparation for a much bigger plan. So just read through the news, and I feel that that's the main content there. For now, MA20 is the area that I am seeing as your nearest support, and you're still at a healthy level. You're very close to your previous bottom here. 1, 2. So promising position at this point. Use 1.22 as your support. Pure gold, the grocery of what happened? Okay, still I'd say use this area as your support. It did not break. Okay, so it did not break. The body of the candlestick is very, very small. Volume is so small. You have a support build up in this area. Okay, from green candlestick here, the amount or the volume of the drop is very small. There's a significant drop, but the volume is so small. So people are still holding on to their positions. So I'd say this, I'd retain 44.17. But it's up to you. Just wait for a green candlestick to come out to support that bounce. Because sometimes you also, it happens. Price breakdown happens. Look at this. Even here, there's not much volume. No volume here, but breakdown in price. Okay, so use 44.17 as your support, nearest support at the moment. So we might climb higher. Next would be BDO. BDO is just resting. Okay, from a 1, 2, 3, a 3-day rally to the upside. This doji was actually our hint that it might rest. So use this MA20 line as our support area. I feel that it is still respecting that. So it might retest that level before it goes higher. 95.46 as our support. And there is a X date. Okay, dividend play here. BPI, okay, the game of the banks. Banks are showing good progress here. June 1st. Oh, okay. So those people who may have entered right here and probably exited yesterday, they're already included in the dividend. But look at that. You know what's interesting? Sometimes when it is X date, that's when the dip happens. But it did not dip. Mainly because this is a very attractive price overall, and a lot of big players are in BPI for long-term investing. So they didn't really mind, and they just entered. There you have it. That's our support, 63.98. So just in case the market gives us a chance there, 63.98 would be our recommended entry level. Okay, so maybe because look at that, look at this, we're very near the overbought area, so there's a big chance that the previous resistance will be tested and will now act as a support. There you have it. Okay, previous resistance, when it goes higher and breaks that level, we don't know how high it could go, but it will retest the area. Sometimes it touches the exact level, but sometimes it's slightly higher than that. Then your call. Just find your entry price. What's really important is know the fundamentals, because that will help you determine which stock to get in, and your technical analysis will help you understand when to get in. Okay. The next one is URC. URC is just resting. Okay. I feel positive that the area of bounce would still be at the MA20 line. So currently we are in this position, and we have not exited, and we have not taken profit because we're looking at something more not being greedy, but I don't really mind waiting for a long time because this is another stable company, and it managed to survive amidst the coronavirus. And yeah, we were able to get in before the cash dividend X date, so we're also qualified there. All right, that's 126.61 for those people who are looking into this. That's our support area. And the MPI. Oh, have I talked about it? Oh, I have talked about it. What about ATN? ATN still stabilizing. You're doing, sideways movement here. No volume still. Look at that, only 76. It might take some time before this stock recovers. Okay, but overall, you're still at a support area, 0.54. Okay, try to read the news and see where they are at in terms of their projects and their projected projects for the remaining months of 2020. Okay, so let's take a look at the other stocks here. Maybe we have some. So we did. What about GTCAP? Let's add GTCAP here. GTCAP still stabilizing. We're doing sideways. We're doing sideways movement still for GTCAP. Okay, but let's take a look at how. Okay, so I think this is now doing bullish divergence. See that while the price is just flatlining within that range, your RSI is starting to climb higher. It's gaining that momentum, but very, very slowly. Okay, now I think that is it for our first part. This is just normally I would create two parts of my video because I just want to post this and invite you guys to watch the video, and then drop a comment if your requested stock is not part of this discussion. So feel free to drop a comment down below. Okay, in the meantime, guys, thank you for watching and you have a safe evening. Bye bye for now.